I was secretly married to business CEO Sophia Taylor for 7 years. She doesn't love me, and she loves me and her 2 children, Lily Johnson and Noah Johnson, even less. She never lets the 2 children call her mom. No matter how much Lily and Noah tried to win her over, she remained unmoved. On the day of the school's parent-teacher meeting, Lily and Noah asked me with hopeful faces, "Dad, all the other kids have their moms with them. Can we have Mom come too?" Unexpectedly, the usually cold Sophia nodded and agreed. But on the day of the parent-teacher meeting, she showed up at the venue with the father-son duo who had just returned from abroad, Ryan Davis and Tyler Davis. "Why, Dad? Why does Mom go with the other kids, but not with us? Does she just not like us that much?" I hugged them tightly to my chest, my voice trembling with a touch of helplessness. "The person Mom likes has come back. Shall we leave together?" "Ethan, are you really planning to quit?" I stopped what I was doing and looked at my colleague Jake Miller beside me, forcing a strained smile. The children's mother is alone in Seattle. It's pretty tough. I have to take Lily and Noah over to keep her company." After saying that, he stood up and walked toward the printer. "Right, you a grown man taking care of 2 kids. What does that look like? Besides, how can you not have a woman around?" Jake Miller leaned toward me, a teasing smile on his face. "You know what? We all privately think you're a single dad." At that, I gave a bitter smile. After finishing printing my resignation letter, laughter suddenly came from the CEO's office, not far away. "Sophia, today I want to eat at that Cantonese restaurant in front of Los Angeles Sunshine Elementary. I loved it in college, haven't had it in 7 years. Really miss it." I saw Sophia Taylor arm in arm with Ryan Davis as they walked out. My gaze darted away, and I quickly turned my back. Jake Miller asked Ethan, what's wrong with you?" I shook my head and said nothing. No one knows that Sophia Taylor is my wife. This year is the 7th year of our secret marriage, and the 6th year that she doesn't allow Lily and Noah to call her mom. Yesterday, she clearly agreed to accompany the child to the parent-teacher meeting, but I couldn't reach her until the meeting was about to start. When Lily, Noah, and I walked into the classroom disappointed, we found her already seated inside, sitting right next to the Ryan Davis father and son, perfectly posing as Tyler Davis's parent. At that moment, I was utterly desperate and determined to leave. I came to the company today to process my resignation and didn't expect to run into such a loving scene. When they walked past me, I snapped back to my senses and instinctively called out Sophia, arm in arm with Ryan Davis. Sophia Taylor came to an abrupt stop, her brows knitting. She turned to me with displeasure, her tone carrying a warning. "Mr. Johnson, what is it?" I took a deep breath, silently handed over the document in my hand, and said quietly, "Miss Taylor, could you please sign here?" Sophia Taylor frowned as she took the papers and was about to open them when Ryan Davis suddenly asked her with a laugh, "Sophia, it's been 7 years. Do you think that shop has changed owners?" Sophia Taylor looked at Ryan Davis with lingering affection and smiled slightly. I didn't change. She didn't even look at the documents, picked up a pen, signed her name, hooked her arm through Ryan Davis's, and walked out without looking back. Behind us, Jake Miller came over carrying a cup of water, bumped me lightly with his shoulder, and said gossipily, "Ethan, did you see that? Our strong woman, Miss Taylor, has finally found a home." I forced a bitter smile. Usually cold Sophia Taylor would immediately become gentle whenever she saw Ryan Davis. As for me, in this life, I will never get to experience her treating me that way. It also made Lily and Noah suffer, never having enjoyed a moment of maternal love. At that moment, my phone rang. It was the voice of Lily and Noah's pickup teacher, Ms. Emma Clark. "Mr. Johnson, the school let out an hour early today. I put Lily and Noah in the elevator at your company. Please meet them at the elevator." I glanced at the backs of Sophia Taylor and Ryan Davis, a bad feeling rising in my chest, and hurriedly said, "Thank you, Miss Clark. I understand." I jogged along, and from a distance saw Sophia Taylor leaning toward Ryan Davis, reaching up to clean a stain on his collar. The gesture was particularly intimate. Just then, the elevator slowly opened. The moment the doors slid apart, Lily and Noah stepped out hand in hand, grinning cheerfully. But when they looked up and saw the 2 people at the door, their steps immediately stopped. I was anxious, rushed into the elevator, stood in front of the children, trying to block their view. Lily and Noah's gazes were drawn to me, and they called out in unison, "Dad." Noticing that the child Sophia Taylor's expression changed slightly, I hurriedly withdrew my hand and put on the air of stranger. Ryan Davis didn't notice anything amiss and smiled as he took Sophia Taylor's hand. "Sophia, The elevator's here, let's go. I silently led the children out of the elevator, one on my left and one on my right. The moment we entered and exited, the air seemed to freeze. Lily looked at Sophia Taylor, her eyes full of reluctance, and whispered softly, "Mama." I stopped in my tracks, my heart aching as if pricked by a needle. Looking down, Noah bit his lip and asked me, "Dad, is that the man Auntie likes?" The sadness on his face made my heart ache, but I could only nod through my reddened eyes. When I took the children back to the workstation to gather our things, my thoughts involuntarily drifted away. When Lily was 4, she and Noah pestered for a long time before Sophia Taylor agreed to take them to Disneyland in Los Angeles. While waiting in line for a ride, Lily saw a glowing balloon and shouted at Sophia Taylor with a face full of longing, "Mom." Sophia Taylor's brows immediately furrowed. "How many times have I told you? Don't call me Mom in public." After saying that, I turned and walked away. Noah nervously ran after them, stumbled after a couple of steps, fell to the ground, crying, and reached out. Mom, don't leave us." There were too many people in the amusement park, and Sophia Taylor quickly disappeared from view. Noah collapsed on the ground and cried loudly, and Lily squatted beside him and cried with him. After that, Noah not only learned to call her Auntie, he also became withdrawn and taciturn. Back at their home in Los Angeles, Lily and Noah said not a word. I looked on with a pain in my chest, but didn't know how to comfort her. Not long after, Sophia Taylor suddenly came back in a hurry, rifling through the room as if looking for something. I stood to the side and watched her coldly, my heart full of anger. When she found what she was looking for and was about to leave, I couldn't help but ask in a cold voice, "Don't you have anything to say? Yesterday you promised to accompany Lily and Noah to the parent-teacher meeting, and what happened? You were with someone else's child." Sophia Taylor paused, saying calmly, "I'll explain this to you later." I was about to lose my temper when Lily suddenly ran out of the room, crying and shouting, "Mom." Sophia Taylor turned back with a cold face. Lily was frightened by her look and recoiled a little. Sophia Taylor leaned on the car door, looked at Lily for a moment, and said to me, "Ryan and Tyler just got back and aren't familiar with Los Angeles. I have to accompany them today. You put the kids to bed early." Having said that, she turned and got into the car, which quickly disappeared at the intersection. I watched the car drive away, closed my eyes helplessly, my heart full of desolation. It seemed the decision to leave was the right one. Night fell, and I forced myself, exhausted, to soothe Lily and Noah to sleep. The two children lay in bed, eyes wide open, as if they had something on their minds. Suddenly, Noah asked softly, "Dad, are we really going to leave Annie?" Lily also sat up, grasping my hand and saying, "Dad, we can't bear to leave Mom. Could you give her one more chance? The day after tomorrow is our birthday. If Mom can spend it with us, we won't leave, okay?" Her voice was choked with tears, her childish face full of hope for their mother. I looked at them, unable to hold back the pain, my nails digging deep into my palm. After hesitating for a moment, I nodded firmly. After soothing the children to sleep, I returned to the guest room, opened my laptop, and began drafting the divorce agreement. With every keystroke, it felt like placing a period at the end of this broken marriage. I picked up my phone and texted Sophia Taylor, who was with Ryan Davis and his son. Yesterday's parent meeting upset the kids a lot. Their birthday is the day after tomorrow. Could you spend some quality time with them? After sending it, I gripped my phone tightly and silently prayed that she would agree. After a long time, the phone lit up. In the chat labeled Sophia Taylor, there was only a single character, okay. The next day, Lily and Noah shook off the gloom after the parent-teacher meeting and smiled especially brightly. Lily hopped up and down and suggested, "Then tomorrow let's bake a cake together." All day long, the two children were full of anticipation, eagerly awaiting the arrival of the birthday. Early on the birthday morning, I took Lily and Noah into the kitchen, and we made the birthday cake together. The kitchen was full of laughter. Our faces were dusted with flour, warm and beautiful. Before long, a cake that wasn't very elaborate was finished. On top, cream had been used to draw a picture of the four of us holding hands. Within those simple lines was the children's longing for the warmth of family. Lily, holding the red frosting, laughed and asked me, "Daddy, will Mom like the cake we made ourselves?" I was stunned for a moment, forced a smile and nodded. "She will definitely like it." Lily's eyes immediately curved into crescents. She turned to Noah and said, "When Mom comes back, let's give her the first slice of cake, okay?" "Okay." Noah nodded vigorously, then asked worriedly, "But will Aunt really come back to celebrate with us?" I hesitated for a moment. "She probably will." Lily clapped excitedly, and the corners of Noah's mouth also lifted slightly. I looked at them lovingly and silently thought, Sophia Taylor, don't let the children down this time. Time passed second by second, the Los Angeles sun gradually setting. The sky along the horizon dyed a brilliant red. After the city lights came on, the whole city fell into a glittering splendor. In the villa, the clock had unknowingly pointed to 10 o'clock at night. I sat by the cake, watching Lily and Noah intently piece together blocks, the only gift Sophia Taylor had bought them. Though worn, it was the children's favorite toy. Suddenly, Noah looked up, eyes red, and asked, "Dad, is Andy not coming back?" Lily also stopped what she was doing and looked up at me. I felt a moment of panic and quickly covered it up. "She probably got held up by something." I stood up with a smile and changed the subject. "It's okay. Dad will always be here with you." Lily and Noah walked hand in hand to the cake, and Lily pretended not to care. She said, "Dad, then you can help us celebrate our birthday." I looked at these two sensible children and felt a sharp ache in my heart. "Sophia Taylor, you have disappointed us once again. This is the last time. The children and I should go." After Lily and Noah fell asleep, I gently closed the door. The clock hand slowly moved to 3 in the morning, and Sophia Taylor finally pushed open the door. Seeing me asleep on the sofa, she froze for a moment, then tiptoed over to take the blanket and cover me. I suddenly opened my eyes, my tone cold. "Do you still remember what you promised?" Seeing the cake on the dining table, Sophia Taylor took a guilty step back. "Sorry, I forgot again because I was busy." I yanked the blanket aside and said coldly, "It's fine." After all, I had already completely given up. No matter how extreme she became, I didn't care anymore. I stood up, flipped the divorce agreement to the last page, and handed her the pen and the papers. "Sign it." Sophia Taylor took them hesitantly, about to ask, when her phone suddenly rang. She hurriedly answered, and on the other end, Ryan Davis's anxious voice came through. "Sophia, where are you? Tyler has a fever and insists on waiting for you before going to the hospital." Sophia Taylor's expression changed. "I'll be there right away. Also, my water pipe broke. If it's convenient on your end, could I bring Tyler to stay for a few days?" "Of course." After hanging up, she didn't even look at the agreement. She picked up a pen and signed her name. When she handed the agreement back to me, she hurried toward the door. "Ryan's place is unlivable. I told him to bring Tyler to our house to stay for 2 days. Pack your things and take the kids out for a few days early tomorrow morning." Watching her walk away and listening to that shameless statement, I ground my teeth. My wife actually expected me and her own biological son to vacate our home for her white moonlight. How ironic, how laughable. The next day, I dragged my suitcase, taking Lily and Noah, ready to leave. Just as we reached the villa door, the gate suddenly opened. Sophia Taylor walked in with Ryan Davis and Tyler Davis. The air froze instantly. A flicker of panic passed across Sophia Taylor's face. She was clearly afraid I'd expose our relationship. Ryan Davis looked astonished. "Mr. Johnson, what are you doing here?" Sophia Taylor quickly stepped aside to block me and smiled as she explained, "Mr. Johnson is a distant relative of mine. His lease just ended, so he's been staying with me for a few days." "So that's it," Ryan Davis exclaimed, suddenly enlightened. Seeing how eager she was to distance herself, I felt nothing but desolation. I was about to speak when Noah stepped forward and obediently called out, "Hello, Auntie." After speaking, he turned and held my hand tightly. "Dad, let's go." I nodded and looked coldly at Sophia Taylor. "Miss Taylor, sorry to have bothered you these past few days." Perhaps too disappointed, Lily passed by Sophia Taylor and murmured, "Goodbye, Auntie." This was the first time Lily had called her Annie. Over the years, no matter how unreasonable Sophia Taylor was, Lily insisted on calling her mom. Hearing the word aunt, Sophia Taylor's body stiffened. She looked at Lily in shock, then grabbed my arm. "Just now, Lily, what did you call me?" I looked at Lily's disappointed expression, feeling particularly ironic, and laughed softly. "Aunt, isn't that what you've always wanted, Miss Taylor?" Sophia Taylor's eyes dimmed, and she released my hand weakly. Give me a few days. I will explain to Lily and Noah." I sneered. "Fine, Miss Taylor. I'll have them wait for you." I turned and led the children out the door, when Sophia Taylor suddenly called after us, "Wait." She hurriedly took out a cake and handed it to Lily and Noah. "Lily, Noah, Happy birthday. The two children paused, and smiles immediately appeared on their faces. But at that moment, Ryan Davis took Tyler Davis forward, smiling as he said, Sophia knew Tyler loves cake, so she specially bought one for him. I didn't expect it to coincide with the kids' birthdays. Mr. Johnson, please don't mind. Noah's hand, reaching out to take the cake, stopped in midair, and my expression darkened. A light, offhand remark felt like a bucket of cold water poured over my head. As expected, the children and I will never receive Sophia Taylor's love. Lily still looked at Sophia Taylor expectantly. Auntie, can you stay and eat cake with us? Sophia Taylor paused, then quickly smiled and said, Of course you can. Eat first and leave after. I looked at Lily's pleading eyes, thinking to leave one last beautiful memory, and reluctantly nodded. Everyone sat around the dining table. Sophia Taylor cut a piece of cake for each person and handed 2 pieces to Lily and Noah. Lily, Noah, happy birthday. The children looked at me, and I was the first to pick up a spoon and take a bite of the cake. Lily and Noah, seeing this, also happily picked up their spoons. But just as I took a bite, my expression changed abruptly. I turned around suddenly, knocked the cake out from in front of the children, and shouted loudly, Don't eat. Everyone was stunned by this sudden action. Tyler Davis was so frightened he hid in Ryan Davis's arms. Seeing Tyler frightened, Sophia Taylor flew into a rage. Ethan Johnson? What are you crazy about? I hurriedly checked the children, then turned to glare at Sophia Taylor. There are mangoes in the cake. Lily and Noah are allergic to mango, didn't you know? Sophia Taylor was stunned, her face full of panic, stammering, Sorry. I didn't know. I gave a bitter laugh. She doesn't even know her own children's allergies. She doesn't deserve to be a mother. Noah suddenly stood up, eyes red, grabbing my hand. Dad, let's go. All right. I tugged at the corner of my mouth in a pained smile and looked at Sophia Taylor. Sorry, Miss Taylor. I got too emotional. It's understandable you didn't know. Thanks for the hospitality. We won't be having the cake. Goodbye. I held the children and dragged the suitcase as we walked out. After a few steps, I suddenly remembered something, turned back and said with a smile, All right, Miss Taylor, I left a gift for you in the bedroom. Take it when you have a chance. Sophia Taylor stood frozen in place, instinctively wanting to step forward and stop us, but her legs felt like they were filled with lead and wouldn't move. I put Lily and Noah into the taxi. Before leaving, I took one long, deep look at the cage that had housed me for 7 years, Sophia Taylor. This time, I truly returned your freedom. I shut the car door and said to the driver, Driver, go to Los Angeles International Airport. The taxi slowly pulled away, gradually disappearing into the end of the Los Angeles streets. In the Taylor family's villa, Sophia Taylor stared at the closed door, feeling an inexplicable emptiness in her heart. She turned awkwardly, looked at the messy cake on the dining table, and was momentarily speechless. Tyler Davis ran off to play, and Ryan Davis began packing up. He looked up and saw Sophia Taylor staring blankly. Just as he was about to speak, her phone suddenly rang. It was the company manager, Mr. Robert Lee, his voice urgent. Miss Taylor, Harrison Corporation is pressing for the contract progress. Do you have time to handle it? Sophia Taylor felt an inexplicable irritation and impatiently said, Mr. Johnson is in charge of Harrison's project. Go to him for the contract. Mr. Lee hesitated for a moment. Miss Taylor, Mr. Johnson has already resigned. Sophia Taylor was stunned, her expression darkening. Resigned? When did this happen? How could I not know? The day before yesterday afternoon. The resignation letter still had your signature on it. Mr. Lee hurriedly said. A flash of the scene when I handed in my resignation crossed Sophia Taylor's mind, and panic immediately showed on her face. She picked up her phone and hurriedly called me, but the earpiece only gave a cold prompt. Hello, the number you dialed is switched off. She couldn't believe it and called several more times, but the result was the same. At that moment, Tyler Davis's voice came over. He kicked over the stacked blocks and said with disdain, These shabby blocks are like trash. Sophia Taylor looked up, her heart tightening. Those were the blocks she had casually bought at a supermarket in Los Angeles back then, and Lily and Noah had been so delighted they couldn't sleep for days. Those blocks had kept them company for years. She hadn't had time to stop him when Ryan Davis's voice rang out again. This cake is so ugly. Sophia Taylor turned around and saw Ryan Davis standing in front of the fridge, pointing inside and saying, Sophia, who made this cake? It's awful. Should I throw it away for you? Sophia Taylor's face turned extremely ugly. She immediately stepped forward to stop him. "Don't touch it." Ryan Davis was startled and stood there at a loss. Sophia Taylor hurried to the fridge and looked inside. Half a cake sat there, with a cream drawing of a family of 4 holding hands and a note pressed beside it. She trembled as she picked up the note. On it were crooked Chinese characters with pinyin, "Mama, woman, ai ni可以爱我们吗?" The moment she saw the note, her eyes went red. She closed them in sorrow, her heart full of remorse and self-blame. Ryan Davis noticed her strangeness and stepped forward, asking in puzzlement, "Sophia, what's wrong?" Sophia Taylor slowly opened her eyes, said nothing, just stared at the half-eaten piece of cake. Suddenly, she remembered what I said when I left. "I left a gift for you in the bedroom." She seemed to recall something, turned, and ran toward the bedroom. Bursting into the room, she spotted the gift box on the bedside at a glance and couldn't wait to open it. Inside was a document with 4 large characters written on it. Divorce agreement. 1 hour later, the taxi stopped in front of Los Angeles International Airport. I pulled the suitcase, held Lily's hand with one hand, and Lily held Noah's, and we resolutely walked into the terminal. In front of the security checkpoint, I crouched down to straighten the children's collars, feeling a weight lift from my heart. "Lily, Noah, we're going to Seattle soon to start a new life." The children nodded sensibly, though reluctant. Their faces showed more anticipation for the future. After passing security, we sat in the departure lounge. Watching the children fall asleep against me, I vowed in my heart, I must give them a happy and stable life. The plane took off, broke through the clouds, and flew toward Seattle. Meanwhile, in the Taylor family's villa in Los Angeles, Sophia Taylor was still immersed in shock and regret. She slumped to the floor, staring blankly at the divorce agreement, her mind utterly empty. She never could have imagined that she had signed with her own hand the document that would shove her family into the abyss. "No, it's not possible," she whispered, despair thick in her voice, her hands trembling as she gripped the agreement, her fingertips whitening. Images of Lily and Noah's smiling faces kept flashing through her mind, along with my disappointed yet gentle look. Those moments she had ignored all came rushing back now. The first time Lily called her mom, she looked shy and expectant, but at that moment a phone call from Ryan Davis interrupted the child and crushed that joy. Every time Noah brought home good grades from school and wanted to share them with her with a heart full of happiness, she always shrugged it off with busy with work. And me, who quietly gave everything for this family, she never truly cared about my feelings. Sophia Taylor snapped back to herself and frantically called me. But all she got in response was the message that the phone was turned off. "Ethan, please come back. I was wrong." She begged into the phone. She stood up and stumbled out of the bedroom. She had to find me, apologize, explain. She couldn't lose me and the child. "Ryan, I have an emergency. I need to go out." She hurriedly told Ryan Davis as she was about to leave. Ryan Davis looked at her flustered state and asked anxiously, "Sophia, what's wrong? Why are you in such a hurry?" "I don't have time to explain. I'll tell you when I get back." Sophia Taylor left without looking back. Ryan Davis stood where he was, watching her retreating figure, the confusion in his heart growing deeper. He had a vague sense that something was slipping out of control. On the plane, I turned off my phone, threw away the SIM card, and completely severed ties with the past. I left all that pain and disappointment behind me. A few hours later, we arrived in Seattle, a city unfamiliar yet full of life. Stepping out of the airport, a breath of fresh air greeted us. I took a deep breath and, with the children, headed toward the small house we had rented in advance. After a simple setup, the place was filled with the scent of home. I began sending out resumes, and, thanks to my previous experience at Taylor Company, I quickly found a good job. Day by day, we gradually adapted to our new life. Lily and Noah made many friends at their new school, and their grades were excellent. Seeing the smiles on their faces, I felt all the effort was worth it. Life without Sophia Taylor was actually quite good. Sophia Taylor drove like a madwoman all the way and arrived at my old home in Chicago. She thought that if I were going to leave, this was the most likely place I'd come. Relying on her understanding of me, she comforted herself. "I'm just in a little mood." She knocked on the door, and my mother, Margaret Johnson, opened it. Her face instantly darkened. "What are you doing here?" I'd already told Mom everything, so her attitude was particularly cold. "Mom, I'm here to see Ethan and the kids. I know I was wrong. I want to apologize. Please let me see them," Sophia Taylor said urgently, her eyes full of pleading. "You know you were wrong? How have you treated Ethan, Lily, and Noah all these years? How much grievance has Ethan suffered because of you? What good do your words do now? Margaret Johnson's voice was full of anger. Mom, I really know I was wrong. I've thought a lot during this time. I can't be without them. Please give me one more chance. Sophia Taylor begged with reddened eyes. But Margaret Johnson knew all too well the hardships I'd endured over the years and had long been hoping I'd leave Sophia Taylor. So she was completely unmoved and went straight to the bedroom to rest. Early the next morning, Sophia Taylor was already waiting in the living room. After getting up, Margaret Johnson ignored her as if she weren't there and went about her own business. Only then did Sophia Taylor realize that the children and I really were not at the Johnsons in Chicago. She earnestly said to Margaret Johnson, Mom, I just want to know where Ethan went. I'm his wife, the mother of the children. I have the right to know where they are. Margaret Johnson looked at her haggard appearance and sighed helplessly. Sophia, the divorce papers have been signed. You and Ethan are completely over. Sophia Taylor still couldn't learn my whereabouts from her mother's mouth. The children and I had vanished as if in a thin air. We didn't contact the companies we used before leaving, nor did we show up anywhere familiar. She was completely desperate. She didn't know where I had gone, and Mom refused to say. Her world seemed to have gone entirely dark. Since we left, Sophia Taylor's life has been a mess. Distracted at work, making frequent mistakes, and several important projects at Taylor Company were affected. Ryan Davis also gradually realized that Sophia Taylor's feelings for him were not as deep as he had thought, and the relationship between them became strained. One day, Ryan Davis discovered a photo album Sophia Taylor had hidden deep in a drawer while he was packing clothes. He opened it out of curiosity. Inside were photos of her with me, and also Lily and Noah. Seeing how her family looked in the pictures, Ryan Davis felt both jealous and unwilling to accept it. Sophia, how do you have these photos? He asked, holding the album as he walked over to Sophia Taylor. Sophia Taylor was lost in memories and was startled. These are old photos. I haven't had time to sort them. Not had time to sort? They're not your relatives at all. What exactly is your relationship with them? Ryan Davis grew more agitated as he spoke. Haven't you completely forgotten them? What do you take me for? Ryan, stop it. I'm not in the mood right now. Sophia Taylor was distraught. Me causing a scene? Sophia Taylor, be honest. Did you ever truly love me? Ryan Davis said, his face full of anger. Sophia Taylor fell silent. Her silence made Ryan Davis even more desperate. He angrily threw the photo album to the floor, turned and ran back to the room, and slammed the door shut. Sophia Taylor looked at the scattered photos on the floor, her heart aching as if pricked by needles. She slowly crouched down and picked up the photos one by one. Looking at the innocent smiles of Lily and Noah in the photo, the bits and pieces of our time together flashed through her mind like a silent movie. She made up her mind. No matter what, she would find us, apologize, and make things right. Sophia Taylor used every channel and spent a great deal of time and resources and finally traced us to Seattle. She booked a ticket without hesitation and set off on the journey to find us. After arriving in Seattle, she asked around, wandered along unfamiliar streets, and finally found the small house where we lived. She stood at the door, her feelings in turmoil. After taking a deep breath, she gently knocked, both expectant and nervous. The door opened. The moment I saw her, my heart gave a slight jolt, but I quickly regained my composure. Ethan, I finally found you. Sophia Taylor's eyes were full of guilt and longing. Ethan, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. We won't get divorced. You and the kids come back to Los Angeles with me. I looked at her, my tone flat. Come back to Los Angeles with you? What about Ryan Davis and his son? Sophia Taylor, it's all over. The kids and I are doing fine in Seattle. We don't need you. She hurried to block my hand as I was about to close the door. I'll make Ryan move out. Ethan, I know I neglected you before, but I've come to my senses now. Give me one more chance. Let me make it up to you, please. At that moment, Lily and Noah ran out. Seeing Sophia Taylor, their expressions were somewhat complicated. Lily stood beside me and whispered, Auntie, why are you here? Hearing the two words, Auntie, Sophia Taylor felt a sharp pang in her heart. She slowly crouched down and looked at the children earnestly. Lily, Noah, Mommy was really wrong. I'll spend more time with you from now on. Come back to Los Angeles with me. Noah shook his head. Auntie, we have our own life now. Please go. The children's words left her utterly despondent, but she didn't want to give up. Just then, her phone rang. She glanced at the screen, her expression grave. There's an urgent matter at the company I have to deal with. But don't worry, I'll be back as soon as possible. I said lightly. You should go. Sophia Taylor looked at us deeply, then turned and left. I watched her back, my heart a mix of emotions. I would not forgive her. I had to be responsible for my own and the children's future. Sophia Taylor returned to Taylor Company in Los Angeles, had her assistant arrange for Ryan Davis and his son to move out of the villa, and then immediately threw herself into work. She knew that only by resolving the company's crisis as quickly as possible could she have more time to win us back. Just as Sophia Taylor was busy handling the company's crisis, Ryan Davis came to the office. Sophia, what's gotten into you these past few days? You made Tyler and me move out, and you're being so cold to me? He asked as soon as he saw her. Ryan, we need to have a proper talk. What are you talking about? Are you still thinking about Ethan Johnson and those 2 kids? Ryan Davis said angrily. I'm the one you love. All these years, haven't you been waiting for me to come back? Ryan, I don't want to bring up the past. All I know now is that I can't lose my family. Sophia Taylor said directly. Family? What kind of family are you and Ethan Johnson? He's just someone you use to pass the time with. I'm your home. Ryan Davis grew more and more agitated. Ryan, stop. I've already made up my mind. I'm going to win Ethan and the children back and live a proper life. From now on, let's keep our distance. Sophia Taylor's tone was firm. Impossible. I won't let you leave me, Ryan Davis said, then suddenly rushed forward to try to grab her. Ryan, calm down. Sophia Taylor pushed him away. I can't calm down. I can't lose you. During the argument, Ryan Davis began getting physical with her. Sophia Taylor was both shocked and furious. Before long, the company security rushed in and restrained Ryan Davis. Miss Taylor, are you all right? The guard asked. Sophia Taylor shook her head, her expression ugly. Watching Ryan Davis being taken away, Sophia Taylor collapsed into a chair, utterly exhausted. She hadn't expected that the white moonlight from her memories would be so despicable. A few days later, she finally resolved the company's crisis, even though Taylor Corporation had been severely damaged. She immediately flew to Seattle, but learned from the neighbors that I had taken the children out. She searched everywhere and finally saw us in a corner of the park. I was sitting on a bench, watching Lily and Noah play on the grass, the sunlight falling on me, a genuine smile on my face. Sophia Taylor quietly came and sat down beside me. I have finished handling the company's matters. I turned to look at her. It's good that it's been handled. Ethan, I've thought a lot these past few days. I know I hurt you before, and I truly regret it. Please give me one more chance to be a good wife and a good mother. She tilted her head toward me, her eyes full of sincerity. I was silent for a long time, then spoke slowly, my voice full of exhaustion. Sophia Taylor, 7 years of hidden marriage. You wouldn't let Lily and Noah call you mom. Isn't that because you think we can't live without you and you want to leave a chance for Ryan Davis? Some wounds, once made, can never heal. The children and I have waited for you countless times in the dark, and every time there was only disappointment. I don't want us to endure that kind of pain anymore. I will change. I promise. Please trust me one more time, she said urgently. Sophia Taylor, I will not forgive you. Life without you has been fine. Between us, it's truly over. Don't come bothering us anymore, I said, stood up, and walked toward Lily and Noah. Sophia Taylor sat dazed on the bench, watching our figures slowly recede. Her world utterly collapsed at that moment. The happiness she had ignored now resembles flowers in a mirror and the moon's reflection on water, forever out of reach. The afterglow of the setting sun fell on her, yet it could not penetrate her cold, dark heart. She knew that this time she had truly lost the most precious thing in her life. The warmth and trust she had pushed away with her own hands, never to return. Our lives begin anew from this moment. Life without Sophia Taylor went very well for us. Later, she would contact me occasionally, but I never gave her a chance. Lily, Noah, and I worked hard to live in Seattle, enjoying the happiness that belonged to us. Those unpleasant times are just a trace in our memories. What we must do is bravely look forward and embrace the future that belongs to us.